Okay, hope that woke you up this morning. Your exams, the finishing touches are being placed on the grading right now. Our goal is to have it available and released on bSpace and the gradebook by, let's say, 12:30, 1 p.m. today. So check sometime after that. The average was higher than last time overall. And if I don't post the distribution on bSpace, I will post it at some point. I mean, today I will post it at some point, and I'll announce it on Wednesday as well what the distribution looked like. But the average was higher this time than the first time around. And I should say, actually, here that there was one question that we gave everybody credit for, one of the multiple choice, because we conduct this item analysis that tells us which items are good items and bad items based on a variety of criteria. In this item, there was a huge number of you who chose the same wrong answer. And I can tell you did that because it was a little ambiguous what one of the terms meant, who it referred to in this question. It was one about the candidate and having a collision. It was about term management theory. And that one we accepted all answers, actually, because 97% of you chose A or B. And either one could have been correct, sort of, depending on how you interpreted what candidate meant. Anyway, doesn't matter. You got the point. It's nothing to be upset about. It's a good thing, and it's really good for those 3% who didn't choose either of the right answers, okay? But we let that 3% go. Okay, everybody else got credit for that question. Are there questions about the exam or anything like that? Okay, maybe afterward. You should definitely go see your GSI or me in office hours if you didn't do as well as you'd hoped. We are two-thirds of the way through, more than, and your final is not really a final. It's a non-cumulative exam for this third year of the course, but it will be during final exam period. Somebody just asked me when the exam will be. Apparently it's listed from 8 to 11 as the exam slot on that day, but I don't think we'll start at 8. I think we'll probably start at 9. I'll verify this, and it will only be 50 minutes, so it won't be a regular exam. It will be your usual 50 minutes, maybe 53 minutes. Okay, you're not going to need the whole time. Okay, questions about that? You should check out the exam time now and make sure you have it right and date. I think it's the 15th. Does that sound right? It's that Monday. That Monday of that week. Okay, great. So we are moving on today to the second and third topics for this last unit of the course. And this topic today and Wednesday really exemplifies, it's probably the most obvious example of one of the 3 sort of motivational themes I laid out at the beginning of the semester. And that theme was connection and belonging. We've already talked about that theme in a variety of ways. We talked about it with regard to normative social influence. We talked about it with regard to self-presentation. We talked about it in various ways, this idea that we want other people to like us. We want to build social bonds that last. We don't want to be ostracized, rejected, so on and so forth. Well, today we're going to be talking about relationships that we form, really utterly a social sort of topic. We're going to start off talking about the early stages of a relationship, attraction, asking the question, what is it about other people that attracts you to them, either for friendship, for study partner, for a romantic relationship, what have you. And then Wednesday we'll talk about some social psychological theoretical approaches to studying close relationships. Now, this is a topic that one cannot underestimate its importance, not just because intuitively we all know that we need other people, that we want to have relationships and good ones, but there's a lot of data, if you didn't know this, suggesting that there are actual physical health consequences of having poor relationships. So just to give you some interesting statistics about the link between relationship health, okay, something that doesn't seem biological, okay, physical, to the biological physical, compared to people who are in troubled marriages, those who are happily married have immune systems, okay, immune systems that ward off infections more effectively. This one's particularly relevant to you guys. The more college students like each other, not students, roommates like each other, the fewer colds and flu outbreaks they suffer. So think carefully when you choose your roommates next year. The chances of surviving for more than 1 year after a heart attack are at least 2 times higher among elderly men and women who can count on at least 2 or more people for emotional support. They have at least 2 or more good, high-functioning relationships. When you ask people what has the biggest impact on their overall life satisfaction, relationships end up being at the top, above job, income, and even their physical health. We all can relate to this notion that relationships impact us enormously, in part because we probably all have experienced the dissolution of a relationship and how unfun that can be, but it affects us enough to get inside the body, okay, to actually affect our physical health. So let's talk about the beginning stages of a relationship. Given how important relationships are, what is it that draws you to somebody else, that makes you want to form a relationship with this person? Let's start off by having you guys jot down your top 3 variables or factors that you look for in another person that attracts you to another person. So write down or type in the top 3 factors that determine whether or not you are attracted to another person. And get your eye clippers out. Looking at your list, okay, which of the below 5 items do you rank the highest in importance? We get rid of that enter the grades file thing. Okay, no. Oh, no. The GSIs are entering your grades as we speak. Yeah, okay. Physical attractiveness, is that number 1 on your list? Similarity between you and the other person you're attracted to? The personality traits of the person? That the person is attracted to you? That the person lives nearby you? Which of these 5 factors would you say makes the top of your list? There are no right or wrong answers. Get up to 2:30. Come on, folks. Oh boy, we are stagnating. Where's everyone this morning? Okay. I purely am just curious what you guys put. Okay, let's see if you're willing to admit. Okay, C won the day. 16 of you put A. I mean, let's get real, guys. I mean, 16 out of 216 put A. I'll tell you what the data say about that in a minute, okay? 59% said similarity, but most people said the very safe personality traits of the person. And 9% of you said the person was attracted to you. That's interesting. When it comes to this, you might not have thought about that as a factor, but 9 of you did. And 6 of you boldly chose that the person lives nearby. And we'll talk about that as well. Okay, all of these factors matter, it turns out, but probably in ways that are surprising to you in terms of just how much they matter. Okay, I don't believe you that only 16 of you think physical attractiveness is the top one. I mean, I know it's not correct to say that. My guess is that it's up there. Maybe it's tied for first and you chose the other one, because it is one of the most researched and robust findings having to do with attraction. Good morning. Okay. Physical appearance. And guess what, folks? We like good-looking people. Okay, this is one of those things that I'm up here saying that I can't believe I have to say. Okay, people are attracted to physically attractive people, to beautiful people, not physically unattractive people. This is not surprising. What is it that makes a person physically attractive? Yes, the eye is in the beholder. Some people, I think Adrian Brody is very good looking. Other people don't. This is some movie star if you don't know this. He's not traditionally good looking, but there are individual differences in what people find to be attractive. But what research shows is that there are some features that are relatively universally seen as attractive, such as large eyes, which is why babies are so adorable and irresistible. Those ones with big eyes. Why? Like in The Despicables, the little girl, she has the biggest eyes ever. All those Disney characters have the biggest eyes ever because they're attractive. They signal warmth. They signal baby. They signal wanting to nurture this adorable thing. So also with a small nose. Prominent cheekbones signal sexual maturity, which is a good thing, and a big smile signals warmth, approachability. There is considerable cross-cultural agreement in what is considered attractive, even despite, yes, there are also cross-cultural variations as well. There's also variations within a culture across time. So the standards, this is a big thing in our country, standards of what is acceptable as weight, thin versus heavy, all this stuff in the media about how these days our standards of what counts as obese and thin have changed so much to the harm, potentially, of many adolescent women out there who have these idealized, very thin images of models out there that are photoshopped or touched up and so forth. Okay, we are attracted to beautiful people, and the question, though, we should think about, the more interesting question is really why is that the case? Okay, why? And is it the case that physical attractiveness really trumps, as I want to suggest, it does a lot of other things? Even only 16 people in this class thought that it was the number one factor. Here's one example of a classic study done in 1966, and we've all been in this kind of situation before, even though this was a study. This was a study done by Walster, who was a really prominent back then close relationships researcher. She randomly paired freshmen for a blind date at some college. Before they went on their blind date, she had obtained from participants responses to a battery of personality questions and aptitude tests. This gave her a basis for looking at similarity between the dates that she paired up, whether they had similar personality traits, whether they were similar in intelligence, and so forth. They all went to a dance with their blind dates, giving them a chance to dance and hang out for a few hours. After this blind date at the dance, the researchers asked each person to indicate the strength of their desire to meet the person again. They tested other determinants of attraction, like similarity, which intuitively seems to be a really big basis of attraction. But the number one predictor for predicting people's desire to meet up with this blind date again was how physically attractive they found their date to be. Okay, it wasn't similarity in this case. It's not the case that it's not ever similarity trumping attractiveness, but this is just making the point that there are some circumstances where physical attractiveness is the number one reason, or ranks higher than some other obvious reasons for why you might be attracted to somebody else. For example, how well the blind date goes. How similar your opinions are about the environment. How similar your intelligence is, the kind of conversations you can have together. No, how physically attractive it was the primary determinant of whether or not you wanted to see this person again. Why? It could be as simple as, it's just rewarding aesthetically to be with somebody who's good looking. It's just very, pleasant to look at. Just like a good piece of art, a beautiful piece of art you want on your wall. Well, a beautiful person you want on your arm, okay, or on your Facebook page or what have you. There's data suggesting, we laugh a little bit, but there's data suggesting also in the rewarding category that other people's beauty, being associated with beautiful things, can make you seem more beautiful. So people whose attractiveness is judged when they're hanging out in the presence of other attractive people, they're rated to be more attractive when they're with attractive people than when they're with less attractive people. So there are tangible rewards potentially associated with, being affiliated with, being in a relationship with, being linked to good-looking people. Yeah. He's asking this hold outside of romantic relationships, and I don't know for sure if there are data out there, but my 99% sure guess is that yes, it does. Because there are the rewards you can get from being with friends are similar. It can be pleasant. It can buy you status to be with better-looking people. The other reason why I say this has to do with the second reason up here, which is that we have stereotypes. We have schemas about what beautiful people are like. Just like we have schemas about what jocks are like, or what extroverted people are like. We have schemas about what beautiful people are like. And it was coined back in the 1970s, also by Walster and two other prominent close relationship researchers, that we associate a lot of positive qualities with people who are good looking. People who are good looking are competent, they are successful, they are smart, they are outgoing, they are friendly, they're popular. We have all kinds of positive qualities associated with good looking people. So when you see somebody and you categorize them as a good looking person, we know what happens when that schema gets brought to mind. It means you can start filling in the blanks and making assumptions about this person, assuming they're outgoing, they're successful, they're competent, all these good things that you would want to associate yourself with as a friend, as a romantic partner, what have you. So going back, in some ways, full circle to the first unit of the course, there was a study looking at the self-fulfilling prophecy phenomenon, okay? So remember, self-fulfilling prophecy, which is the cycle whereby your initial expectations about somebody lead you to behave in a way toward that person consistent with your expectations, and lo and behold, your treatment of that person in that way elicits the very behavior you were expecting in the first place, leading you to confirm your initial prophecy, the initial expectation you had. This works when we're talking about expectations based on the what is beautiful is good stereotype. So in a classic study done by Mark Snyder and his colleagues, they paired up unacquainted male and female participants. Partners were given background information about each other. They were shuttled to separate rooms. They did not actually see each other. The male partner in each of these male-female pairs, and so these are real participants interacting with one another, given background information about each other. And then male participants, the only manipulation in the study is that male participants get a picture supposedly of their female partner in the other room. Okay, it wasn't actually a picture of the female partner. Half the male participants are led to believe that the person they're about to have an interaction with over headphones is good looking. Okay, they get shown a good looking picture of a good looking woman who they think is who they're talking to. The other half get a picture of an unattractive woman, pilot tested, pre-rated by other participants. Okay, so they're having an actual interaction with someone, a live participant, okay, over the headphones, and what they know or believe is that in one case the person's good looking, in the other case the person isn't. Okay, so partners have conversation via headphones. And here are the dependent variables in the study. Only one manipulation. Do male participants, are they led to believe they're talking to a good-looking person or not good-looking person? Judges rated the conversational behavior of males. They listened to the tape recordings. Judges rated how females acted in their conversational behavior toward the male participant who thought they were good-looking or not. Female participants were not aware of this manipulation. They were not aware that the male participant was led to expect that they were talking to someone good-looking or not. And then males, at the end of their interaction with the female, their impressions of the female partner on a variety of trait characteristics was assessed. what would the self-fulfilling prophecy lead us to expect for each of these dependent measures? First, with judges' ratings of males' behavior, what should that look like across the two conditions? In terms of how friendly, positive, forthcoming, warm, or the opposite for participants. Okay, judges are listening to how men are talking to the women. What's going on here? Quickly, someone, yeah. Yeah, so the men, they're listening. The judges are blind to condition. They have no idea what picture the men were shown, but they rated, so men were given expectations, or presumably had expectations based on female physical attractiveness, and then judges rated men's behavior as acting in line with those expectations. That is, men's behavior was much more positive, friendly, outgoing, warm when they thought they were talking to someone good-looking versus when they thought they were talking to someone not good-looking. So step 1 and 2 of the self-fulfilling prophecy has unfolded. Men have these expectations associated with the what is beautiful good stereotype, and they act in line with it. Not consciously, okay, but they do. And lo and behold, the judges rate females to be friendlier, warmer, kinder, more approachable, more enjoying of the conversation when the man they were interacting with thought they were good-looking than when the man they were interacting with thought they were not good-looking. Again, nobody knows that they saw this picture. The judges don't know anything about this either. They're just rating the conversational behavior of men and women. And then men's impressions of the women at the end of the study fell in line with their expectations because they actually have data for it anyway. They acted in a way that was warm and friendly. They thought she was hot. She responded like any normal person would to someone acting nice to them. They acted nice back. And guess what? The men ended up thinking they were nice and cool. Okay? An example of the self-fulfilling prophecy in action, here not based on stereotypes about whether somebody's smart, extroverted, what have you, here based simply on physical appearance. Okay? Presumably illustrating or trying to illustrate that we have these positive expectations associated with the physical characteristic of attractiveness. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, what else determines attraction? We're going to talk about 3 factors altogether. 3/4 factors altogether. We've hit the most obvious one, I think, physical attractiveness. The second most obvious, I think, is similarity, which many of you indicated as being important. Lots and lots of data suggesting that we're more likely to affiliate with people who are similar to us in age, religion, hobbies, interests. The list goes on. Height, intelligence, social class. The list goes on and on. You find greater similarity among friends. You find greater satisfaction among roommates who see themselves as similar. You find similarity among spouses in marriages. We may all laugh a little bit about this, but there's some data to suggest that people get drawn to people who are similar to them in level of attractiveness, physical attractiveness even. Right? This is why we sort of do a double take when we see sort of a mismatch in physical attractiveness. Let's all admit that. Okay? When you see a really physically attractive man with a less physically attractive woman, we wonder, and the same when it's vice versa, because we tend to gravitate toward people who are similar to us in all different respects. Now, some of you might be thinking about exceptions. You know about that notion that opposites attract. And yeah, there are exceptions to every social psychological theory or principle. The bulk of the data suggests that, by and large, similarity trumps complementarity, being attracted to other people. Okay, so birds of a feather flock together is more correct than opposites attract. Why? Why is it the case that we are attracted to people who are similar to us? Well, one reason we're attracted to similar others is that we tend to interact with them more. You know, you tend to interact with people who have similar educational aspirations as you do. You may live in a special co-op or some kind of dorm that has a special theme, giving you the opportunity to interact with people who are similar to you in their interests. The clubs that you interact or a member of, like the Sierra Club or the student government, what have you, this gives you all these opportunities to interact with people who, guess what, are interested in what you're interested in. And moreover, because they're interested in similar topics, your interactions are likely to be positive. Okay, you're all at the Sierra Club meeting. You're all going to agree that the environment is important, that we should do something about this. Okay, so interactions are not only more frequent with people who have similar interests, or who are similar in age, demographics, religion, all different variety of dimensions, they're likely to be positive interactions. We also are driven by similarity a lot because we assume that similar others are going to like us. And when other people like us, and some of you picked up on this, then that is a turn-on. That makes them more attractive. Okay, and it makes us like them reciprocally. Okay, data on this include Art Aaron, who is a prominent close relationships researcher and here in our department now. He did this great study on undergraduates at Santa Cruz, where he followed them over a quarter of 10 weeks, and he asked them every 2 weeks whether they had fallen in love or not. Okay, so he's following these Santa Cruz undergraduates, not unlike yourselves, and if they fell in love, he asked them to report the reasons why they fell in love. And one of the top reasons or factors that led them to report falling in love is finding out the person they fell in love with liked them. Okay, this is spontaneous reports of what it was that made them fall in love. Spontaneously reporting that one big factor and then falling in love is because they heard that this partner was interested in them. That was a survey study. Here's an experiment that tested this idea. Curtis and Miller back in the 1980s, they had participants take part ostensibly in a communication study, ostensibly with another person. One participant was supposedly accidentally told that the other person they were about to interact with liked them or didn't like them based on some of their background information. So it was sort of framed as like a slip of the tongue by the experimenter, okay, because I think they didn't want to make it obvious that they were trying to look at the impact of learning that someone likes you or learning that someone doesn't like you. Okay, they inadvertently gave participants expectation that the person they're about to interact with was liking them, wanted to look forward to interacting with them, and so forth, or not. Then the pairs actually met and discussed an issue. What do you think happened in these interactions? Okay, if you're a participant in the study and you go interact with someone who you think likes you, how much do you think